Hey Cappy, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all having a good day. Happy 420. I'm just having a mint tea. Gonna jump in, see what wants to come out for the present energy. If this does resonate, like, share and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated. First card out, Knight of Swords, is coming through as communication, some kind of communication coming in, the Hierophant. Some of you guys are going to be meeting a mentor, the High Priestess. It feels like you're going to be working with somebody. Already is coming through, this person you could be working with. It feels like this is going to blossom into an emotional relationship. Stepping into a new world. Something's over and done with. Something's closed out. This feels like something you're not going to want to do. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unlike you. Maybe too much like a new version of yourself that you haven't fully accepted. 222. Feels like it's a crossroads energy. Are you going to stay in a world you've always known, or are you going to jump into something new? Past energy, Hanged Man. It's coming through as a time of introspection, feeling dissatisfied. It feels like being shown what you don't want, being shown how you don't want things to go so you can make better decisions. Changing fate, changing the way that you're living, the Emperor, Queen of Pentacles. It's like being slowed down, being able to see your own errors, being able to see the mistakes of others, the mistakes of your own, those that you're around, so that you can take what you want, discard what you don't. If there's been some delay, it's been for your education. Two of Swords before we move. Yeah, slow down to receive clarity. If you need to take a break, you need to take a rest, you need to go and do something, literally travel, like take a break, travel somewhere. Do what you need to do in order to get into a good mental state. It's something about like your mind health. Looking after your mind. Meditation would be great. It feels like going somewhere with somebody that you can be your authentic self around, that you can relax, that you can rest, that you're at peace. Because there's a big decision coming in that you need to be grounded to make. You've been prepared for this, maybe some of you for a lifetime. It feels like lots of lessons leading up to this, lots of, mastering yourself. Things are balancing out physically. If there's been some battle in terms of finances, this is easing out, this is leveling out. Things are changing, things are stabilizing, I want to say. Maybe this isn't in terms of finances, but in terms of the chaos in your world. It's like it's like an earthquake coming to an end. That's how it feels. Things are settling. External energy, protect your energy. You choose what you feed. What you focus on grows. If there's something you don't like, stop looking at it. If there's something you don't want to hear about, stop entertaining it. Feels like it's necessary to really get your house in order, get things energetically prepared for this new beginning. This feels like it's just off of gut instinct, a knowing that nothing around you can confirm. You could be feeling disconnected, like why you can't gain clarity. Maybe it's like you could be feeling like usually it's easy for you to know what to do, know what is so and what is not, see through illusion. You could be feeling quite blurry at this time. There's nothing to fear. Where there's love, there's no fear. Change the narrative. If you're walking around in a nightmare, turn it into a dream. It's like, change what you're seeing, change your perspective, change the narrative. If some story is not fitting, or some story is not in your best interests, change it. Maybe that means changing location. Maybe it's a change of what you're doing in terms of profession. Maybe it's who you're around. If there's something in your reality right now that feels like it's not you, it feels like you're being asked to set boundaries with this, to move away from it, maybe even physically. Some of you, it's like you asked to expand your wealth. Things are happening to help that indirectly. Hardest battles to the strongest soldiers. Hermit. There's something about really going within, amplifying your own energy, your own light. There's something you're here to do. You need to be fully charged to do it. It may mean taking a minute to be alone, to face vulnerabilities. It feels like you're being faced with certain fears right now, so that you can hash them out before the main event. So it's like things could be happening to put your mind in certain spaces, so that if the time comes that your mind's in that space, in the real situation or in a situation, that you can know how to navigate. It feels like training, earth school training, being prepared for something so that you can handle it. Even if things seem difficult, there's something about being grateful for the way that you're being accommodated whilst facing something. And I don't believe in focusing on that narrative of focusing on settling for something because others have it worse, because someone's worse off. It's like, yeah, there's always someone worse off, there's always someone better off. But using the facts of things, what is there to be grateful? Maybe you're going through a really hard time, but you've got a safe space and a roof over your head to go through that. Finding the blessing there, giving thanks. Thank you for providing me with this space in order to do such and such. Or maybe it is a certain job that's not great, but it's helping you with a certain thing. Really finding gratitude for what you have in the moment as you move out of it, by just accepting what is. It feels like a letting go. It's like that thing of, I feel like a lot of people get stuck in this thing of trying to avoid lack, because it's like a fear of being in lack, because knowing that by focusing on what you don't have that it's going to go. But actually that still can be stemming from a fear. It's like if you're consciously trying to focus so much on the good things and ignoring certain things because you're scared of feeling lack, you're not feeling everything in its wholeness. It's like really knowing you're good, you're whole, you're catered to, whether lack or not lack, or abundance, regardless of where you're at. That there's a knowing, there's a trust that you're catered to, regardless of what it looks like on paper. Because there's something coming in, there's a lot coming in, but it's like something had to break your heart to fix your vision. Something wouldn't have been able to expand if you hadn't have gone through certain heartbreaks. It's like a breaking down to break through. The world. Yeah, this could be an end of a relationship. Some of you, it's coming through like a divorce energy. But it feels like it's triggered a spiritual awakening or a remembrance of who you truly are. You've overcome more than just this obstacle of heartbreak itself by having to face this obstacle of heartbreak. It feels like mastering anxiety, mastering your emotions. The Star. Six of Wands. Celebrate yourself, congratulate yourself. There's been a lot of work that's been put in here. It's like facing yourself by choice, willingly. willingly taking yourself on, I want to say like a project, not quite, but just to get the point across. That you've made yourself, your path a priority, your calling. Feels like this is something you're surrendering to completely. Maybe something that's had a bit of resistance. Learning how to deal with loss, accept loss, the coming and going of things, the seasons of things, complete acceptance. Mirror Doris, whatever will be, will be. The Empress. Que sera, sera. Justice in your favour. It's like no matter how much you learn, you're always a student. There's always something you don't know. It feels like finding comfort in this almost. That there is a bigger picture, there's a bigger power, there's a bigger reason. Do we have free will? I'm pretty sure like most of us won't feel like that at times. It's like some things we really are pushed into, or it's like pushed into whether it's by our own soul, something we've been wanting to do. 8 of Wands. As much as it's uncomfortable, it's in your favour. It's like let go and enjoy the ride, the ups and downs of things. 8 of Cups, 8 of Wands, the Magician, alchemize. What's coming through is I'm seeing someone's just created this vehicle, this flying vehicle that flies at the speed of light, and it's all a great idea. And it's really exciting, and you finally create this impossible vehicle. And then it's time to test drive it. And it's like, that's the celebration. It's time to get in it. It's time to enjoy it. But now there's like some fear of how fast it's going to go. What if it crashes? What if it's like you've created this beautiful thing, this beautiful energy, something that maybe others did see as impossible. Now it's time to jump into that, to enjoy the ride, to test drive it. This should be the celebration after all the efforts. But it feels overwhelming. Feels like wanting to self-sabotage something because of it. Because of fear of how good it actually is. It's like trust. Trust that what you've built is sustainable. Trust that what you're building is sustainable. Trust that you are protected. It's safe to move ahead. It's safe to continue. Believe so. Use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organised, a firm but compassionate leader. The Emperor, number 4. Unity. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. Do more research before proceeding. Education in the form of seminars, going back to school or apprenticeships. Excellent craftsmanship and long-term projects. Some of you are great with working with your hands and designing things, creating things. It's like being asked to really connect to everything you're doing, like be there fully. Like how in any situation we can be in a state of meditation. Breath, body, mind, body. Breath, mind, body. It's like if you're washing the dishes and you're breathing through that movement. Kind of like the whole Karate Kid wax on, wax off energy. It's like whatever you're doing, be there fully. Set the tone. So like if you're working on a project, get everything out beforehand. Make yourself a beverage. Do something to really immerse yourself in that experience, because it's like it's not so much about what you create, but your creation process right now. You're going to learn something about yourself, about your own creativity. But it's kind of like getting the mess out of the way. So a lot of the time it's like if you're a painter and you haven't painted for years and you've got all these emotions, it's like as you paint, you're letting all that surface level stuff off. So it can be good to kind of paint it with the intention to channel emotion. And once you've let all that out, you'll have more precision when you're going to do a specific piece, instead of trying to create something in a certain energy when you've got these other energies in the way of that. There's something about really like not judging yourself as you start, letting things be messy. That's just as medicinal, that's just as necessary. If you need to just like throw paint at a canvas, that kind of energy, or create something that is like, create for the point of creating, not for what's going to come out of it and how it's going to resonate to someone else. And that may change, but it's like right now, do it for you. Do it because you love something, not because of how the final product is. And there's something coming through about really seeing yourself as the final product. Is there some kind of level of perfectionism that's keeping you in a box? Honouring yourself through the messy journey, not just as the polished, like, final product. It's like everything's forever changing. If you think about what's coming through is like in society about looking a certain way and staying perfect. This is something I went through. Like I wouldn't leave the house unless I had 400 layers of makeup, hair extensions, lashes, tan, everything. And some of it for really deep-rooted reasons, some of it just because, well, a mix of it all, society's pressures, like being so immaculate. And it's like if everything wasn't perfectly, and not just in terms of myself, but everything I created, if it wasn't perfect, I deemed it no good and I would just get rid of it and start again. So that meant that nothing ever got done, nothing ever went out. And it's like, as soon as I stepped outside and the wind blew, if one part of me would move or change, it was like, you're imperfect. Now you've got to start over. It's like, it's not good enough. Which has led me to this point of being an absolute mess, not feeling well, haven't brushed my hair, no makeup coming on here. Because it's like giving myself permission that, and a way of healing that, to be like, it's like you don't have to be polished for your gifts to be valuable. Like the message is just as valuable whether you look like $1 million or you look like you fell out a tree. And it's like, that's something I'm having to rewrite. And it's like, you know what, God never made the hairbrush, but God made me and God gave me this. So it's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And it feels like that. It feels like something that's deeper, something that you've faced, something you've transcended. And it may not be in terms of looks or putting yourself together or trying to keep things a certain way. It's like, just in terms of perfectionism in some way, letting go a little, maybe letting go a lot, maybe what I'm saying, like doing the complete opposite thing of the thing that you felt you had to do, like do the very thing you think you cannot do, I would have told myself there's no way I can do this because X, Y, Z. And then going and doing it anyway, regardless of what that means. It's like you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. Life is a continuous journey, a messy journey, even in nature, like the trees, the flowers, the leaves, they wilt, they die, they rot, they come back. It's like flowing with things, accepting things, doing what you need to do to step back into your power, regardless of what anyone around you thinks. And there may even be, like what I'm saying, there may be something more healing in doing something a way that you deem unworthy than doing it in the way you deem worthy. It's how it feels, it's not how it looks right now. And there's a time for all things. Maybe there is some case of it's like having to accept that. Like for me personally, like I don't enjoy getting ready or doing my makeup, doing my hair, because it was such a burden. It was such a 8 of Swords energy, kind of being stuck by my own limitations. So even just now I had like a jacket on, I've sat down and I feel like no, go and put your fluffy hoodie on and sit down and do like there's no need. How do you feel? I feel uncomfortable. I don't feel myself. I don't feel that great today. Like I won't want to do that. I don't want to put makeup on. So I'm not going to do that because it doesn't feel good. Would it help if I made myself look glamorous and come on here? Would it help in terms of getting the video out? Maybe. But is that what I need right now, a tip for my own healing? No. And that's my priority right now. So it's like, what is your priority? What are you trying to do? What is your intention? How are your actions investing in that intention? Because it's like, even myself, I see a point where once I'm through these feelings, I will enjoy doing them things and getting dressed up, and some, it's already happened, like where that's coming back in, especially over Halloween, like just expressing myself and doing those kind of things. So there's going to be a time for that. But what are you doing and why are you doing it? Is it making you happy? It's like, even in terms of if you're running at a top level in something, in terms of a profession, and you've learned all you feel you can, you've gone up the top of the ladder, it's like you may feel better up here, some kind of pedestal energy maybe, because you know what you're doing. But then if you go and start in a different area, you're going back to school, you're going back as a beginner, as a novice. That could be some kind of ego death maybe. It's like starting from scratch, you know nothing again after feeling like you know something. But what's best for your evolvement? To come back to knowing nothing, to learn that, so then you can have two understanding. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it may not make sense, and it may not, it's one of them feelings where it may not feel good in the moment, but there's a deeper feeling of liberation. It feels true to you, regardless of how it looks on paper. Life experience number 16. Let go of belief systems that no longer work for you. An important life-changing event, a situation that leads to significant opportunities. And the 10 of Spring. Ask for help from others, all work and no play, being weighed down by too many responsibilities. And the Dreamer, number 0. Number 0, that sounds good. Embrace your true purpose, begin a new adventure, trust yourself. The Cow, love the Cow. A new beginning or even a new life may be blooming. The Hawk, number 2. It come out in reverse. And that's what I feel guided to read, so I'm going to do that. If you have drawn Hawk reversed, it may be because you have shut down your powers of observation on some level. If something in your life has become too painful to feel, too unbelievable to hear, or too dark to see, it is time to examine the point at which you chose to let yourself become emotionally involved and to no longer be the observer. When you allow your emotions to override your perceptions, the message from Hawk cannot penetrate the chaos and confusion. At this point, you are asked to be mindful of the honest observer's neutral position, which allows the message to be intuitively and clearly understood, without emotion colouring its true meaning. Emotional colouring is a tendency of Hawk medicine people when they are off balance. Their emotions cloud their vision and lead to a crash landing. The ego can clip the wings and leave Hawk grounded. Also, if Hawk believes that those who cannot fly the same way she does have weaker perceptions, then the winged messenger has not understood his or her own medicine. Freedom of flight is a privilege, and being a messenger is an honour. The responsibility for delivery of the message is up to you. Take your flight and forget about interpreting the omen your own way. Let the receiver decide what the message means. After all, unless it was sent specifically for you, you would be tampering. Hawk in the contrary position teaches you to open up about the powers of observation, not to tell others how to think or behave, to take care of your own emotional baggage before you begin receiving omens, visions, or messages, to remember that all gifts are equal in the eyes of Great Spirit. Page number 47. Purpose. Feels like some kind of initiation, some kind of education to learn how to master yourself before you jump into a position of leadership or jump into a position of responsibility. Abundance. I am worthy and I deserve an abundance of anything that I require. I watch my thoughts to ensure that I am honouring and respecting myself. I honour myself by knowing that I am worthy to receive. I am open to receive now. I remind myself that it is a sign of strength to ask for help. Sacral chakra. Some of you is like, are you asking for too much? No. Rewrite that narrative. You're limitless. You're limitless. What you can create is limitless. Do what you want to do and do it for you. I am kind to all. I am aware that everything I do or say affects others. I will help those who seek it, and I will seek out ways to be of service. I develop an attitude of looking for ways to help others, instead of always waiting to be asked. Everything I do from a spiritual perspective, and I put my heart into it. That horse heart, that's what's coming through. Horses have been coming up all the time recently. There's something about the power of the horse, the heart power of the horse. Is it equine therapy? I'm pronouncing that wrong. Equestrian therapy, I don't know. Maybe some of you to look into that. Something about being around horses, and it keeps coming up. Personally, my views on this is just crazy now, and I don't want to be around any horse unless it's a wild horse, and I don't like all this horse business going on. Not that that was relevant for this reading, but say what you got to say, girl. Number 15, Hariel. His religious faith is of a high order, and he receives great illumination of which he is consciously aware. He has authority and extraordinary analytical intelligence, and the power to invoke magic and combat materialism in order to improve human existence. Pure in feeling, he has simple but refined material and social values. He sets up rites and customs in order to contribute to the expansion of spirituality and organizes associations, promotes conferences and works to bring about the legalization of esoteric or alternative activities. Possessing a strong sense of justice, he always finds the path he needs to follow. Attribute creative god planet Saturn, our good friend. Ruling hour 4:40 a.m. to 5. Reasons for invoking: to obtain improvements in professional life, to attract the love and goodwill of those about us, especially among family members, to exalt religious feelings, to help us discover the useful and new. Page number 20. Yeah, the dreamer. Embrace yourself. Embrace your true purpose. Begin a new adventure. Trust yourself. Walk away from dishonest associations. Realizing what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness. Something that's not worth the effort. Unfounded fear. Focusing on worst case scenarios, allowing worry to grow out of proportion to the problem. Come back to your center, let it all go. It's that there is only love in the now. An angel card just fell out of the fairy pack, number 21. I'll check you out in a minute. Ah, and Saturn's on the... Okay. Plan your next steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience. There are more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. He can seem severe but shows moderation in words and achieves a balance between the spiritual and the material, loving the beautiful and hating the ugly and vulgar. He has a strong capacity for leadership, self-control and patience. He follows his ideal at any price, never accepting loss. Blessed with intelligence and imagination, he has maturity and control over himself. He seeks harmony among those in his family, although he often feels misunderstood by them. He tends to be a solitary figure, always looking for the ideal partner. Reasons for invoking: to destroy the power of the enemy, to protect us against slander and also those who want to take advantage of innocence, to help us understand astronomy, astrology, geology, mathematics and exact sciences. Remember this card coming out before. You got stuck in the fairy cards. I didn't see that. Was it for you guys? It might have been, you know. It's like your heart power is going to be your best friend right now. Keep breathing into that space. The path has been cleared for you to make a change that previously seemed unachievable. The frog. I'm going to leave it there. If this did resonate, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys soon. Sending so much love.